Today, we pay homage to Sir Elton John in 60 seconds.
This is the W2 Report with Sanji Homura. Here's Sanji.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of the W2 Report. I am your host, Sanji Homura. Today, we are going to go over the ground rules while a kitty cat was stuck in a vending machine.
Rule number 1, don't be a dick. Rule number 2, if in doubt, please refer to rule number 1.
Please do not go after anybody that you see on this show, because we will be very sad pandas if we do.
Yes, the pandas will all be sad, and then they will be nuked.
Yep. Let us introduce our third man in the ring, Mr. V.O.N.
Look, I don't want to be picky or anything, but there's not even Kit Kats in that vending machine. How dare they? This is a very offensive name, and you know what? I'm coming after that cat, and you can't stop me.
Well, there's no Kit Kats in the machine because Kitty ate them all.
That explains
She was stuck in there all night. It was just a bad thing.
Oh, damn! Missed it by a whisker.
I know, right?
All right. Today we have two little stories for you today. Let's get to our top story today. Fntastic recently underwent a name change for their game the day before.
Okay.
And the reason why they changed their name was because they forgot to trademark it.
Uh-huh.
Don't you just hate when that happens?
I know, right? What's up with that?
Well, they did. They just so happens to have trademarked their new name. But can anybody tell me what the problem is with this trademark?
It's called Daywell.
Downloadable game software, computer gaming software, downloadable from a global computer network, downloadable computer game software for use to mobile. The fact that it's a mobile game is a really good hint. Recorded electronic game programs, downloadable electronic game programs, downloadable video game programs, downloadable computer game software for use on mobile and cellular phones. Again, it's a mobile game. Why? Recorded computer gaming software, downloadable software for metaverses.
How many marks did they have to trade for this?
At least 2.
Ah, that makes sense.
They only get one, but they only get one back out. So.
Oh yeah, you got to get your change, you know. Is that why they're called Deutschmarks?
Well, the problem with this trademark is that it just so happens to have to be conflicting with a series of books.
Not the Harry Potter series.
If the pandas we were talking about, trash pandas. Oh no, she's asking you if we're trash pandas. No, we wouldn't want to do that. We wouldn't want to do that. Although, if you ask some folks, the next intelligent species we're going to get are procyonids.
Well, it just so happens. Yeah,
The Deutschmark died a while back. I remember it well.
Yeah, gave way to the euro. Now, the problem with this trademark happens to be that there's already a book series using it.
Yes, it's called Dayworld.
Now, the premise of the book is a little different than what the game was going after. But hey, Raz. But the problem with the trademark is that it's still actively being used.
Yep. And actually, generally speaking, you have to be at it for a while before it has to be not in use for quite a while before you can try a trademark it, before you can try the same trademark. There is a flip side to that. If it had been something that could have been considered non-literary in some way, shape, or form, they might have pulled it off. They might have got away with it. It probably would have got sued. Still would have gotten sued, but it wouldn't have been, but they would have had a much better chance of winning.
Yeah, this is a bad trade.
You're
Mark
talking
my
about
words.
computer games and all there. A lot of them are known for narrative.
Yes. Now, yes. Let's make sure we hit that like button on the way in.
Yes, do that.
How does one hit the like button?
There is a thing called a thumbs up button.
Ah, that'll be it.
Yeah, it's down there under the video itself.
Now we've given our thoughts for Mr. Captain Fntastic over here. Let's spend the majority of our time with story 2, the Brown Dirt Cowboy. Now, Starfield happens to be a big hit with everybody.
Hell yeah, it is.
Yup.
But Mr. Nathan Grayson.
Yes. Mr. Grayson. Oh, you have got the history of all histories.
He just sounds like a villain.
Wow, dude. You have labored in the quiet since 2014. Now you're going to make an ass out of yourself. Let's go.
Well, what happened was Mr. Nathan Grayson, formerly of Kotaku, now of the Washington Post, decided to open his mouth in defense of Eurogamer, saying, quote, "In the age of influencers, access-based journalism is a dead end. Publishers will never want truly critical coverage. Only glorified advertisements."
I bet this guy's really fun at parties.
Oh yeah. Just ask Zoe Quinn. She'll tell you all about it.
Now, as seen here, they'll always be able to push the goalpost further because they know outlets are desperate for access. Now, can you tell me where Mr. Grayson parted from the path?
He was born?
Oh!
Sorry, that came out a lot harsher than I meant it to. I'm so sorry.
Actually, no. Mr. Grayson says, quote, "Publishers will never want truly critical coverage. They don't want, well, okay. They don't want glorified advertisements either. What they want is
in Grayson's defense here, very, very briefly, and this is probably the only place where I'm actually going to come to his defense, and I feel really icky doing it. But you guys remember what happened with the with Middle Earth: Shadow of Mordor?
Oh yes,
and its follow up. Warner Brothers put into their contracts that if you were going to do this, you had to agree to this. If you were going to do that, you could not criticize the game or the new Radiant mechanic that they had on hand at that time. The new system, I think it was called. Yeah, no, it was all over for a while. But Bethesda just stopped doing that shit at all. And if I remember right, the folks at Digital Foundry didn't think all that well of it. I mean, I can think of a few places that are going to the 5 that are getting scores in the 5.57 route. The 7 is not the starting point for these places. Mind you, it's gotten enough reviews already to get its Metascore up high enough to make that thing work. But yeah, programmers get the people making the games get their bonuses based on Metacritic score. It's been like that for years.
Well, yes, that's true.
That being said, I'm not surprised that Eurogamer's gotten its didn't get a copy, because if I remember correctly, they pissed off Microsoft like in a huge way here about 6 or 8 months ago.
But where I was going with the whole argument was, they didn't necessarily want critical coverage just for the sake of being critical. They want honest coverage.
But that's not honest.
People follow me because honest content.
That is true. That's in the very sexy voice. But, you know, it's
no, you and I both know that's wrong.
Oh, trust me, it is.
Now, what's the difference between the two? Between honest coverage and being critical just because of being critical.
Well,
there's a difference between being critical and being critical to be critical and being honest.
Yeah,
because if you're being super critical of a game and being honest about it at the same time, they are one and the same thing. Okay. For example, I did a review of Dreamworld that I wanted to score an absolute 0. I wasn't allowed to, but I tried it. Okay, because there was nothing redeeming about that game. Mind you, I just finished another one for a different game, and Sanji Company and the rest of the Snark Patrol have already seen the footage that I had for it. That was terrible in completely different ways. I mean, you were lucky if you were going to get that game to work. And it had been in early access for a few years. It's like 5 years. It had been in early access, and they hadn't touched it since the last update was 6 months after they released it, and it was still extreme garbage.
How about no, Patty? I will never stop thinking about your comments.
Well, in the case of Nathan Grayson, I'm pretty sure that's right. He works for WAPO now, but at the time in 2014 he was working for Kotaku, and continued to be until just recently. Sometime he quit working for them sometime in the last year or so.
Actually, I think he got fired. Let me Let me double check because I don't
Was
want to
that
go.
for-
I don't want to go to jail again.
Was that for Taku too much shit? I thought that was a good play on words. Fair enough.
He actually left in July of 2021.
Yeah. Well,
Still
okay.
recent.
That means it's still recent, and to be perfectly honest, he pretty much had that one coming.
I know everybody does, except for our news subjects. Now,
So yeah, Nathan Grayson being a whiny shit. And in other news, water is wet.
okay, let's switch back over to the meme because there was an add-on to a story that we followed up on last week in regards to the asset flipper known as Zonatron Productions.
God
Yes.
damn it.
Now, Squirrel has seen this comment, but I'm not sure if you have yet. There, Mr. Vaughn.
Which comment? Sorry.
Give me a second here. This is going to be live on YouTube.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
I can tell why that cat fell from the vending machine though. It looked a bit aerodynamic.
Oh,
I've been sitting on that one for a while.
Yeah, you have.
when we went off the meme, I was
This
just
I have
thinking,
no
God damn. Like it's only applicable in this situation.
Nope. That's not what I want.
So tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
There we go. Okay, give me about 2 seconds.
It was 1 second before. I'm sorry, Patty, I didn't get the reference. It doesn't ring a bell. Just out of interest, Sanji, how long is an American second? Is it quite a long time, or is it?
It's done.
Oh, okay.
It's done. All right. So there we go. And close. Well, I have to. There we go. All right. Now, in the comments of Sid Alpha's video, there was a discussion that was had that happened to have been a part that happened to draw some eyeballs. Basically, the comment went along the lines of, I wonder if those people who signed exclusivity contracts with the Epic Game Store can be able to get out of them because of what they're doing with Zonatron.
I'm not sure that would be the case. I'm not. It's my thinking that Zonatron isn't exactly affecting their sales, or at least it would be really, really, really hard to prove.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe I'm just wrong-headed and thinking it the other way and thinking about it all wrong. But I can imagine some people. I can imagine
some people wanting to try the argument in court.
Yeah, the argument has legs, but I don't think it has teeth. You have to be able to prove all of that, and that would be difficult at best. I mean, if some of the smaller folks see huge drops in their sales, Epic could easily explain that away. You know, hey, it's after the first couple of weeks. Nobody sells a whole lot after the first, 30 days.
But yet, AAA developers are expecting a month plus in initial sales.
That's why
that doesn't make any damn sense.
Well, see, here's the thing: the big sales data is for any game, actually, regardless, is pre-orders plus the first 2 weeks. That's why if you don't want to really if you really don't want to be part of that number for some completely unknowable reason, like, oh, you're pissed at them, just boycott their game the first 2 weeks. Because that's what the shareholders are going to look at.
Right.
The shareholders are going to look at the first couple weeks sales plus any pre-orders. Unless, of course, there's a huge public outcry. After which all of the bets are, shall we say, off.
Right. Now, if Zonatron happens to somehow have effectively affected discoverability within the Epic Game Store, which was their reason, which is what
the question becomes: can you prove it?
Yes,
especially with the small number of creditors we're actually talking about.
I mean, we've seen how they could have handled Steam.
Well, with Steam, you just have to. Steam is one of those situations where you're just going to have to live with it. They have their own standards, their own rules.
Or lack of standards. I've seen some of those Steam games. They're not great.
No, they're not. I'm not going to waste everybody's time by pretending they are.
Oh, good.
There's a lot of crap on Steam, and I really wish Greenlight was still here, so we had some way to kind of stem the bleeding, for lack of a better term.
Right. Well, anyway, that was our extra period. So in that case, we will be leaving you.
No, you sound like my parents.
So with that out of the way, I have been Sanji Imura. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time. And until the next time we see you, beware the tax man cometh.
Say the only thing worth having was found at the end of each day. But that was then and this is now, and he's far gone. And his voice had lingered on for far too long. He said, my fearless son, you can't be stronger than them all. Their birds control the sky and if the jump will likely fall. And you need an alibi just to pass by in this life. Cause your shield can't protect you from death's sight. Oh no. When he left to fight and stuff, I left his spirit and body and soul. I also left my family. Then what do I know? I'm just a carbon copy of a damn machine.
Hello, folks. This is Morgan Freeman. This concludes our broadcast today. I'm Morgan Freeman. Good night.